So here we are in our slight change of circumstance. We are now firmly set up in this lovely, lovely manor house. My studio is now completely where I need it to be, ready to paint. And in this video, I think I'm going to give you a quick tour of the house, and then at the very end, I'm going to leave the cameras to roll so that you can make yourself a cup of tea or a coffee or whatever you want and just put your feet up and enjoy the wonderful, wonderful atmosphere of this place. So if you've never been to this channel before, let me reassure you that we didn't always look like this. I've had this opportunity offered to me, I think, because of the progress that we've made, because of what we've been able to prove and the potential that seems to be at stake here. We've used Tim Jennison's Comparator Mirror, which he discovered or perhaps rediscovered in his attempts to figure out how Vermeer was painting, to make the skills of realistic drawing and painting not just a little bit easier, but completely accessible.
The painting, the techniques, the mixing of colours, where you were looking through the mirror, where I was looking. That conversation allows you to be on an even playing field, which makes the mirror a really unique tool.
And the aim of my game whilst I'm here is to write not only the last 6 years of my research, so that's phase 2 of our Comparator Mirror tests that followed our initial tests at West Buckland School, but also to put together sort of the definitive Comparator Mirror teaching guide or learning guide, that's probably a better way of putting it. Ultimately, I realised that whilst many people are fascinated by paintings that look like the world, that draw you in through beautiful, careful detail, those skills also terrify most people, even to the point of not being able to pick up a brush. And so simply designing a beautiful piece of streamlined Comparator Mirror hardware, which by the way is what I've done, is not quite enough. You also need a guide at the side to help you. And if that can't be me or a trained teacher, then it should be a really nicely presented guide to drawing and painting like never before. So now I think it's probably a nice time to take you on a quick tour of this place. So the very first and most important thing to say is that this is still a private house and has been all its life, which is about 400 years. For that reason, I'm going to be a little bit discreet, but I will say that everything you see has evolved over the lifetime of the house. Because of that, the contents of the house are wonderfully eclectic. Now we're moving into the long gallery, which is a convention of Old English houses, although this particular long gallery is only about 8 foot in length. Next, we're going to walk into the breakfast room, which is where a lot of the family portraits are hung. And you might notice that as we walk through the front halls of this house, that each room has its own particular style. Do these hallways remind you of anything? Upstairs, that eclectic mix from one room to another continues, and there are so many rooms and corridors and antechambers up here, I couldn't possibly show you everything in one video. So I'm going to take you to the room that perhaps I like most, the library. So I've been here 2 months and I've set up my studio, as I said, and I've really begun to push on with my writing. And I suppose doing that has forced me to think about the reasons why people feel that drawing and painting is not for them in perhaps more detail than I ever have. This has forced me to think about the stuff around painting, which very easily distracts from what it actually is and what it has to say. This could be the gold frame, or it could be the atmosphere of a house like this. And the thing is that as a painter, I've always known that if you can have a tradesman's understanding of how a painting is actually put together, it becomes intensely personal. It becomes a very intimate experience. The best word to describe this is praxis, which means basically learning through doing. And with praxis in mind, I'm going to be making a copy of this little picture in the next couple of months. I think it's probably the most intimate portrait of a child I've ever seen, but more interestingly, I want to suggest that anyone who's built their own comparator mirror joins me in this process. Now, I know this may seem crazy, as many of you will think that this is way beyond your skill and ability level, but using our comparator mirrors, going detail by detail, accepting that mistakes are part of the process and making our own unique copies from the same source painting, I think we might be able to get right inside this particular work of art and enjoy the painting together. More importantly, we're going to be able to pool our experiences, no matter what confidence we began with, in a way that teacher and student have never been able to before. You know, teaching for me is the completion of a circle, but always there has been a sense that the student stands at a distance from the teacher, and the better the demonstration, the bigger that distance gets.
It's been wonderful watching the students and seeing their light switch on a little bit with them as well. The fact that one tiny little circular mirror has changed someone's confidence, that to me, that's magic.
Now we have a way that teachers and students can really share the experiences of drawing and painting with a process that puts you in the driver's seat.
Come on, Tom.
Are you going to ask me what marks out of 5 I'd give myself?
Yes.
1.
Really?
See what you think.
You're able to agree or disagree, or be able to say, well, actually, if you have a look again. It was a partnership. We were both there and discussing together. It didn't knock my confidence at all. It only boosted it. It was, amazing.
And if you are already putting your DIY comparator mirror kit together, thank you for throwing your lot in with us, but also indirectly for helping more people to get their hands on free comparator mirrors. The little bit extra in what we charge for postage and packing has gone straight into buying more first surface mirrors. So it turns out, I think, that everyone is going to be able to get their hands on a comparator mirror booster kit with that first surface mirror. Don't forget, if you've got your comparator mirror booster kit, that our Booster Build Basics video is there to help you and is linked below. So good luck. So I hope you agree that things are looking pretty positive here at Painting Lab. I've got my work cut out here at the Manor with writing and painting and making more content for this channel. The comparator mirrors are finding their way out into the world, and all we really need to do now is get on with the business of painting. See you next time.